Today I'm bringing you a review of an Instant Pot Duo, and I'll answer the most important question: is it worth buying? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Agnes with another review. So I love doing reviews because I love watching them. Whenever I'm about to buy a new product, I always make sure that I check it out on YouTube, see what other people think about it, try to find out how it works and things like that before I actually buy it. So if you're wondering whether to buy Instant Pot, whether it's a good investment, keep watching because I'll be telling you everything I know about it. So let's start from the cost. So this is Instant Pot Duo Edition with 5.7 litre capacity, which is plenty for the family of 5. As you know, I've got 3 children, or you may not know, I am a mummy of 3 children and I cook daily myself. So I do cook meals from scratch and I love using Instant Pot for it because it's just so much quicker to use. So every weekend at least I cook a soup, which my kids love, and this is what I'm going to be cooking today as well with you guys, because I want to, obviously the best way to actually experience or see how things work is by actually using it. I can't try all the options, but I'll explain what the other options are out there for you to be utilizing. So before I get into the cooking, let me just give you a tour of the actual appliance. So this is my Instant Pot. It opens just like that. Pick up the lid. Now inside the lid you will see there is this rubber ring, and this rubber ring is very, very important and needs to be inside that, or this little wire needs to be inside the rubber band, because if it isn't, it will not seal and the pressure will not be ever building up. So that's your lid. It's quite chunky and heavy, with obviously the options to set on the venting and sealing. So whenever you're actually cooking, that needs to be on sealing when you're pressure cooking, not when you saute. When you saute things, you just don't put the lid on at all. Now inside the lid you have your main pot. This is stainless steel Instant pot that comes with it, and you can see that maximum capacity of it is 2/3. So if this is 5.7 litre, you need about 4 litres of water maximum, or 4 litre of the actual food, to be no more than that, because otherwise it will probably not cook it throughout, or there will be other problems with it. Now inside here you've got this little thing here, and this is what actually heats up the pan, I believe. And this, don't ever put water in here, and there is a little caution here to reduce the risk of electrical shock. Cook only in removable container. So this is the removable container. You could buy them separately if this has gone really tired and like you don't want to use it anymore. Let me just go over the options that it has. So it cooks soups or broth, meat or stew, bean or chili, poultry, rice, multigrain, porridge, steam. It's got also a yogurt option, slow cook option, satay, pressure cook, keep warm, pressure level, delay, start and cancel. Now let me just initiate this, because a lot of people may just wonder, how do you actually put it on? So this thing is now plugged in and it's connected to the socket power, but I'm going to just switch it on. And as I switched it on, the sign off came on. So the sign off means that the machine is actually powered, but it's switched off. So the minute you select any program, this will change and show you what settings you can select. So say I would want to saute something. If I select saute, the automatic setting is to saute for 25 minutes on a more, so less normal and more setting. If you set at the more and it's on right now, so this is starting to heat up from here, and you could saute things. So this is kind of all in one appliance. You don't need to have few appliances to cook your to saute your onions, then to brown up your meat, or to cook out the sauce. You can do everything in saute. Now when you saute, the important things to know is that this has to be uncovered. You cannot put your lid back on when you saute stuff. I'm just going to cancel it. If you want to cancel, you just cancel anytime you want, and it just goes back to off. Every time you're cooking, it will have the keep warm option on, and I'll show you that in a second. I'll tell you which options I have tried so far. I've cooked soups, meat stews, I've used the saute option, pressure cooker, we've made yogurt once, I've never steamed things or made porridge or multigrain, but I did try the rice option. So most likely you're not going to be able, or you're not going to need to use all of them, but you know, it's good to try things. So I'm going to put this thing in the action so that you can see how it works. So I've got my ingredients ready. I'm going to begin with sauteing the onions, just because it is just easy to then demonstrate. So if I put on the satay, I'm going to set it up for 10 minutes. So first things I'll do is to add a little bit of olive oil. So this is now singing to me. I love appliances that sing. It's just so useful, or that kind of measure the time and indicate when things are ready, because you know, we get on with things, kids call you over and you forget about things, and when the appliance actually sings to you, it's so much easier to know that something's actually happening. So yeah, this is now on and it's heating up the bottom of the pan, and I'll just chuck the onions in there. Oh, one spill out. Get in there. So the onion is beginning to sizzle now. I just wanted to mention that this Instant Pot came out with 2 spatulas. They are plastic, by the way, so don't be surprised if they kind of stick to the bottom if you leave it inside the pot. It also came with a little pot, and it also came with this, which is like a roasting rack. So you could do like a meat and put that in the bottom, and it's easy just to pull it out, and apparently it makes beautiful meat. I have only done pulled pork, but I've left it in the bottom of the actual pan as opposed to putting it in there, so I haven't actually used it once. And it also came with a beautiful book which explains how the device works, how to clean it, all the questions you may have and possible errors that may come up, and also explain how long you need to do things. But very conveniently I cannot find it. I don't know where it is, so I can't show it to you. Right, anyway, the onions are now starting to brown. I'll show you closer. The onions are browning now. You can hear nicely sizzling, and it's also like getting like nice and golden brown to it. So as you can see, when I'm sauteing, I'm not using the lid, because it is important that you don't actually cover it up. So all I'm going to do now is throw everything else together. So let me just cancel it. Okay, this is now off. It will be heating up for a little bit longer, so if you just leave it on, it will still keep cooking. All I'm going to put in the pan is some chicken. So I've got some 2 drumsticks of chicken. I pulled them out of the freezer earlier today, so they are frozen. I'm going to put all of my vegetables. So I've got some potatoes in there, some carrots, fresh carrots, and also frozen piece carrots and sweet corn. So this is how it looks so far. Just give it a good stir and cover it up with water. Now you need a minimum of 500 ml of water, but because this is a soup, I want this obviously to be liquidy, so I'm going to make sure it's like fully covered. Okay, this is now covered. I'm also going to add 1 chicken stock. I'm using the Knorr vegetable stock pots. I really love them. They are very good for slowly simmering with garden herbs, and it's gluten free as well. It comes in pots of 8. I will link this in the description below. In goes my little cube, and it splashes on my clothes. Stir it up, although you don't really have to. Now goes the important part, okay? So I'm going to put the lid on, okay? So it tells you where is it closed and where is open. So if you just put it here and listen to the sound. How does it know that the lid is on? I love the smart technology. Okay, so you put it on. Now you lock it by just doing there, like that, so that it says close like that. Now at this point in time, you can no longer open it. Okay, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna make sure that your button here is on sealing as opposed to venting. This is venting, this is sealing. So you wanna make sure it's on sealing, otherwise it will never build the pressure. Okay, and I'm just going to put it on. So I will set it up for soup. I don't want it to be for half an hour because vegetables cook super fast. So I'm going to make sure that I'm only leaving it for 20 minutes because I've got chicken in there. So it will be enough to leave it for 5 minutes, but because I've got chicken in there, I want to make sure that it's fully cooked. So this is now on. Now, just because it says on, it doesn't mean it is yet pressurized. It will take about 5 to 10 minutes by the time it gets to the point where it actually built enough pressure for it to be pressure cooking. So the soups cook on the pressure level as well. It needs to start counting the time basically for you to know. So once this comes on the time, I will show you. So I missed actually recording when the sound came in, but as you can see, 20 minutes setting has just come on and that thing has popped tab, the little pin in here, which means the pressure is now built in and is now pressure cooking it. So it took about 10 minutes for it to actually get to that stage. So while my soup is cooking, I just want to tell you that if you're looking for one pot that does everything for you, and I mean you can cook literally anything in this is the solution for you. So if you haven't got time, you're a busy parent, you're working late, what you can do, you can set things up in the morning and put on the delay start option, and the dish will start cooking itself. So what I love about it is that literally now this thing is cooking. I could go off for half an hour or however long I need to and forget about the whole cooking process. Whereas if you're cooking the soup on the stove, you just have to keep on coming back to it, make sure that the gas isn't too high, the soup isn't spilling out and things like that. With this thing, you walk away and you don't worry. Now, one thing that has happened to me actually 2 days ago when I was cooking, I have had a message burn. And when you get a message burn, it means that most likely you have not added enough water to it, because of which the food got stuck to the bottom and it starts to burn. So when it starts to burn, automatically your pot will start releasing the pressure and you will no longer be cooking it in a pressurized environment. So it will no longer be pressure cooking it. It will just switch off that option. It will still carry on cooking though. That's why when you see the message burn and there will be sound coming with it, you have to make sure that you just switch it off and take your food out. And so what happened to me, the food was actually starting to stick at the bottom of the pan because I just did not put enough water to it. And you ask how much is enough? Enough is at least 500 ml of water, and I believe I did not have, I must have put about 300 ml, because with the pressure cooker you will notice that your food will be quite liquidy, because that 500 ml of water is quite a lot in terms of the liquid, and you'll find that some food will come out to be little liquidy. But if you wanted to do, you can then uncover your food once it's cooked, set up on the satay option and let the steam evaporate from the dish, because of which it will become a bit more thick and creamy. But obviously this will mean that the dish will cook a little longer, but you're saving yourself a lot of time on having this being instant and having it to cook in a pressurized environment, because of which it is so much quicker. As I did mention, I've got a family of 5 and my kids are quite small, so they don't eat huge portions, but I find this being more than enough for a family of 5. Over the last 4 months that I've been using this appliance, I have cooked several dishes, and the dishes that I cooked vary from Indian curries to pastas to soups, stews and rice, yogurts and things like that. So I have recorded a few of them. We cooked delicious biryani in there. You don't actually have to soak your chickpea overnight, because once you put it in a pressure cooker, the whole process just gets cut down, and in 45 minutes your chickpeas will be ready. We also cooked yogurt in there, which I did not take a picture of, but it gave us huge quantity of yogurt from the little amount of yogurt. I've made various soups in there, so always chucked some vegetables, whatever I've got in hand. So we still got about a minute to go, and I wanted to switch this on before it actually stops, because I want you to hear that it does actually let you know once the food is cooked. So it beeped 10 times. This is to let you know that now it will be just counting upwards the time until it naturally releases the pressure. So you can leave it like that and let it naturally release the pressure, or you could use the steam or venting option to get rid of the steam. I am a rather impatient person, so I normally do this and let the pressure release itself. So as you notice, it took about a minute for it to actually finish venting, and the little pin inside had gone down, which means the pressure is now completely released. Now this is still on the low setting and on the keep warm option. So you can see in here it says keep warm. What does this mean? That the food will be kept warm until you say for it to cancel, or until you press the cancel button or switch off the machine completely. But now, because the pressure is released, I am able to open the app. So let's just have a look inside the pot. Okay, so it now lets me to open the app, and this is what the dish looks like. And this is a very handy thing to have, so you could place this in here and it will just hold it for you. I want you to have a look how nice the meat is. So I'm just going to get the spatula that they provide us with, and as you can see, the chicken is literally falling apart. Let me just take it out. It is still cooking inside, but look how nice it is, and it's falling off the bone. It's fully cooked, and the soup is nice and ready. I'm going to serve this to my children now. That was all I wanted to show you. As to a cleaning process, now all you gotta do is remove this. Now this has just cooked. It's warm to touch, but it's not hot. I still got a little bit of liquid, so I'm going to transfer this to a bowl. This is gonna go to wash. It literally needs 2 seconds of wash. I'll get a little cloth and I'll wipe it clean, because this doesn't really get dirty at all, because the cooking happens inside the pot, so that's the only thing that gets dirty. It's ready to be used next time. So that was it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this review and it helped you decide whether you want to get one for yourself. If you guys have any questions regards of this pressure cooker, please put them in the comments below. And if you are interested to see any recipes that I cook using my Instant Pot, I would be happy to share it with you. Although my channel isn't a cooking channel, I will eventually have to diversify it. If you enjoyed this video, I would love you to consider giving me a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.